Hi guys, welcome back. First off, I just want to thank everybody who has commented and participated in conversating about my Germany strategy. And I hate to really call it a Germany strategy; it's more of an Axis strategy. But they were a few things in there I did mess up on my video. I put captions on some of it, and I still saw some that there was some stuff that was wrong. That was my third time making that video, and during that time, you forget what you've already said because you think you've already said it. And I realized I forgot to say a couple important things. I misspoke on a couple turn sequences. Even though I fixed them in captions, it still, I thought it would be better for me to do a recap video. In addition to, there was so many people talking and asking about this cruiser. Why are you doing this? Why not this? I don't care about the 5 IPCs. I need to explain this so you understand the gravity of what I'm talking about. Okay, it's very, very important. Okay, so we're gonna go over that for sure, and a few things that I forgot to mention. Now, the first I want to talk about again the fist of power. Okay, remember, you think of the Axis as the fist of power. Okay, and remember when I said Moscow is the center of that fist. Okay, if you do not have Moscow, you cannot make that fist, right? Your fist is like this, and what happens if you punch somebody like this, right? It's not gonna hurt. You're just gonna slap them, and they're just gonna kick your ass, right? You need to be able to form that fist, and when you make this fist, it's the Cobra Kai fist, right? Attack first, attack hard, no mercy. And I mentioned that on my last video, and the Big E, he said, hey, we should just call this the Cobra Kai. And you know what? I love it, right? It's got nostalgia. It's kind of funny, and that's the kind of person I am. So I want to refer to my Axis strategy as the Cobra Kai. Okay, so from now on, I'm going to refer to this as the Cobra Kai. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now, the first mistake, these bombers, I put them here in Germany. The two, I went over here to 110 and I put them back in Germany. They need to be in Western Germany. Okay, now what's the difference? Well, the difference is you have the air base. Okay, the air base gives you obviously a wider range. Okay, if I put them here and I want to go that way, it's the same difference. Okay, if I'm here, this is the extra space and I'm going to cover the same ground. If I go this way, I get an extra space. It makes no sense to put them here. Remember, all my planes are right here. I was trying to just get everything out of the way so I can roll the new dice because I was pretty excited about them. Okay, bombers will never land here. They are going to land here. Okay, second mistake. Now, I said it first correctly. Turn 3, you take Ukraine. Okay, then I started going off of turn 2 for some reason. You're not going to take Ukraine on turn 2. Okay, on Germany's turn 2, for over here, all they really are going to do, maybe take this, depending on what they do, and you're going to reinforce Bessarabia. Okay, all these forces that you ping-ponged are going to be here. Okay, then Romania or Bulgaria is going to come down. That tank is going to go through. So you're going to have those two tanks here. You're going to have those guys here. Depending on what is going on here, you may or may not take those tanks that way. Okay, just you're going to have to make that assessment. You're definitely going to bring the artillery up, right? You're definitely going to put him into a combat position. Okay, and then you're going to bring up the AAs as well. But for turn 2, that's pretty much all you're going to do. You said you might take this. I don't want you ever taking these. Okay, I know it looks, even if they back into it, you're not going to walk into it. Okay, you're not going to take it because it's getting those units too far out of position. Okay, for one IPC is not worth getting out of position. Okay, they need to be here. Okay, for now. Okay, remember I said if we don't do a sea line, we're gonna use that one transport because we're not gonna buy any more, and we'll bring some guys over. At that point, we can think about moving forward. But right now, this puts him too far out of position. Okay, it's not worth $1. Okay, you need to stay right there. Okay. So that's something you gotta look out for. And remember, we're not going this way at all. You're gonna go this way. This is where the money is. Okay. Now, as for these factories, what am I producing at these factories as I take them? Okay. The furthest ones out get the tanks. As you get closer, you can start buying some guys and start buying some artillery and working your way forward. Okay, because the tanks will catch up. Okay, so tanks furthest out, artillery and guys here. There's not really a need for mechs. Okay, tanks, artillery and guys, because they're all will get there at the same time. Okay, now there's another thing that you can do with this factory. Okay, is it's kind of an expensive purchase, and you have to see how things are going. Okay, but another scenario, if you're getting tied up over here, because you're just not getting the battles fast enough. Okay, you have to speed. You're gonna have to expedite. Okay, which means you're gonna have to probably put an air base here on Romania, and you're gonna have to drop 2 transports as your purchase. Okay, and what you're gonna do with those transports is those transports can reach every single place, even back into Greece. Okay, all on the same turn. Okay, because it's a load and offload. The transports don't even have to go anywhere. Okay, you can really cover some serious ground. And I say 2 transports so you can do 4 units, 4 units, 4 units. It's really gonna move. It could move this factory. It could move your ground units 4 spaces on 1 turn. Okay, that's a significant amount, not having to go anywhere. The problem is you have to watch out for the planes that are in Moscow. You have to watch out if England has any that were left here from Toronto. Okay, so that's why you have to have an air base to protect those, and you have to supply it with enough fighters to scramble against 2 rounds. Okay, because if Russia goes in there and takes out all your scramble except for 1, well, guess what? UK is going to come over here and pick the rest of them off. Okay, you have to have enough there to scramble 3 and have enough left over to make sure you can scramble 3 again. Okay, it's very important. If you are going to do that, you have to have the support. Okay, you don't want those transports to be wasted, because those transports could be very, very valuable. Okay, very valuable. So on Russia, if for some reason on their turn 1 they want to come over here and take Bessarabia, which is a possibility, they can easily take it, but they would really weaken this line. So they may or may not. If they do, so what? It's not a big deal. You're just going to take it on turn 2, because remember, you're not doing anything on turn 2 except fortifying this with these guys. Well, if these guys aren't here, you're just going to move those guys up. Okay, so you're going to be in the same position whether they take Bessarabia or not. It doesn't really matter. Okay, if they do, you're just going to have less guys to fight in Ukraine, and you're going to walk right in here on turn 2. Okay, so either way, it's a win-win. It doesn't matter what they do. Your plan does not change. Okay. Now, about this thing is why I was saying your strategy should always have multiple scenarios to fulfill the same mission. Okay, in case something just isn't going right, there is a plan B to do the exact same thing a different way. Okay, all your plans should have that. You should have, okay, well, if they do this, I'll just do this. It's no big deal. You need to have that prepared of things that are going to happen. Okay, so we went over that. Went over the bombers. Now, what's going to happen with all these planes here, I didn't mention the last time, is you're going to see what Russia does on turn 1, and you're going to see what UK does on turn 1. Okay, and then that will determine what you're going to do with this aircraft. Do you need to split it up? Are they just piling guys? There's nothing here. You can just check them all that way. Okay, if that's the case, these bombers, you're just going to bomb the heck out of that Russia factory. You're just going to go to Moscow, go to Moscow, go to Moscow until they get shot down. Okay, you're not going to worry about buying more bombers to replace those. You're just going to use them up until they are no longer there. Okay, which generally I don't think I've ever had them until until I took Moscow, but I never needed them. I mean, you're going to nickel and dime them enough that they are serving their purpose. Okay, now these TAC fighters, you are going to make sure you pair with tanks, because they're going to get the +1 attack. Okay, and the fighters, you might just keep over here, or if you decide to do that, the transport, you're going to make sure you have enough to sustain 2 scrambles. Okay, and that's a win-win scenario too. If Russia wants to throw away their planes on you, and UK wants to throw away their Mediterranean planes for your scramble, well, that's worth it. I mean, trading those planes is worth it for that scenario. It's worth not having planes in the UK. It's worth not having planes here, because you know why? That means Germany and Italy are the only ones with the Air Force left. Okay, because you've taken out those, you've taken out those. Okay, so that is a good sacrifice. Okay, you're doing those trades is a good trade for this particular scenario. Okay, now these are going to be left empty. Okay, that's not a problem. Don't worry about it. Okay, he will always live. Okay, he's always going to live no matter what happens to this. Okay, and I'll go over that in just in a second. There's no way the UK player is going to bring this over here to do a landing. Okay, if they do, so what? They're just, if they want to weaken their UK to come over here to try and snag $3 from you from one turn and lose that guy and lose this and take it, let them. Okay, it's not a big deal, but just face it, they're not going to. You don't need to worry about this. Remember, I took those two guys from Denmark on turn 1, and we put them over here to help make that potential landing invasion of 20 units. Now, since we are talking about turn 2 and turn 3 over here, remember on turn 2, what you're going to do, all these units that did in France are going to be coming here, okay, to make that 20 ground forces. This is your landing party, all ready to go to London if you so desire to. Okay, you don't have to spend any money on that invasion force. It is sitting there ready to go when you are. Okay, remember, these guys are going to come over here. You gotta make sure you can take those guys out. You can call in a couple planes, because you got the destroyer. That's one of the reasons why you bought the destroyer. Okay, so make sure you always bring in enough to win. Okay, if these planes aren't doing anything else, well, you just bring all of them. Okay, bring every single one. There's no sense to waste a roll. Okay, bring every single one, roll it, and then you can go land, somewhere else. You can land over here closer to the front. Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna jump to over here, and then we'll jump to why I don't take Normandy and why we're leaving these for Italy. It's very important that you don't get greedy and take Normandy. Okay, it's very important you don't get greedy and take southern France. Okay, you need to leave that, and I'll explain that in just a minute. But I think we just wrapped up Russia. Yes. Now another wasn't really a mistake, but I really didn't go over to it in detail, was when I was over here and I was talking about Japan. Actually, now we're talking about how we're going to hit this on turn 4, the sea lion, and then Japan is going to attack over there on turn 4. Now, there are scenarios where that's going to happen, but for the most part, Japan is always going to attack on turn 3. The only time they would attack on a turn 4 is they are over there doing just fine. China is almost done, okay? And there is so much America here ready to go to 91. It is almost imperative Japan waits for turn 4 so this can be fortified. Okay, this can be fortified by turn 5. I'm talking about this with 75 units. Okay, you're like, what side? How in the hell are you gonna get 75 units there? I'll go there in just a minute as soon as we cover this UK. But I just wanted to go over that last thing that I said. I said Japan attacks on turn 4. Now, that's different scenarios. You have to talk to your Japan player about what you're doing, and he make sure he understands. He can kind of blow the game if he attacks too early. Now, sometimes it doesn't matter. It just depends what America's doing, right? If America's all over there, then let him attack turn 3. It doesn't matter. He can even attack turn 2 if he wanted to, though I don't recommend it. I don't recommend going in any earlier than turn 3 on Japan. And actually, I recommend doing turn 3 for Japan 95% of the time, okay? But there's going to be that scenario that comes up. It's like, dude, I need you to wait one more turn. He's going to say, why? And you're going to explain to him. And he's going to say, yeah, I agree. Okay, so, but we'll get to that in a minute. First off, let's wrap this up. The last thing I did not do, I did do on my other 2 videos, on my 3rd video, I did not scramble these. Okay, actually, he's here. It doesn't matter. You can scramble all of them. When you have that 1 sub coming in here, okay, your goal, this is going to survive. Okay, that's not the problem. Your goal is to get rid of that, and then you're going to get sunk by all these planes. Okay. You're like, well, sorry, why don't you just go to 106? There's no scramble there. Well, yeah, if 106 isn't my problem, okay? That cruiser or that destroyer 106 can't reach 87, okay? This one can. This is the one I need to try to take out, okay? Now, if you are not playing the Grasshopper Invitational Tournament rules, then you do not need to worry about putting this sub at 87. You take this up to 106. Yeah, you come over here and you're going to take that. You're not going to bother with 109 at all, okay? That's a given. But for the tournament rules is any subs on the board on the Europe side takes away 5 IPCs for UK, okay? They get a 5 bonus for having no subs, okay? That's why we shuck him down way to 87, okay? Because what is in range of 87? This and this and this fighter, okay? Technically, this bomber could probably reach 2, but you know, it's getting to the point where it is overkill, okay? So I wouldn't send him. But he would go for sure. He would go for sure, and you know, I would probably honestly even send him. I would go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd put him back here, and then my next turn I'd fly him here to United Kingdom. Okay, if if this is not here, if it's not a tournament scenario, and this is here, I would take this just straight to UK. Okay, I'll get to that more on the UK video, but I will go over why this is so important for Germany. Okay, because you don't. This is so important to Germany that you force UK into this position. Okay, so we're just going to say, because in the last video I failed to get this, so we're just going to continue on as it was the last video. Okay, so we're going to have this here. Okay, and then he's going to come here, right? And he's going to come here. And now a lot of people are saying, well, I'll just come over here anyways and do that. Well, that's a serious risk. Okay, if you fail to get this, okay, he's gone, okay? He is gone, right? And if you don't think that 5 IPCs is worth it, 5 IPCs is 5 units by the time you do Sea Lion, okay? If you don't think 25% of the German landing force is important, you haven't been up against an experienced German player, okay? Germany will dominate UK every single time. That's why we do not scramble. That's why we bring this here. That's why we bring this here. Okay, and now now that we're playing tournament rules, we have to put those guys here. And you know what that does? That takes London almost off the table. Okay, if America is over here lining up, that takes London off the table, because now you have half of their landing party sitting here, that because you played your cards correctly. You're going to have 6 planes here rolling at 4, okay? Don't think that's not going to devastate that landing force, okay? Those 6 planes, and I say 6 because you brought one over and you would have bought one. You're going to have 6 planes here rolling at 4. In addition to, you're going to have 5 more guys than you would have by sinking that sub. That's why that sub is so important. You cannot afford to miss, okay? If you miss, that sub is gone, okay? And this is your only hope. This move, right? This move is your only hope of getting rid of that bonus, okay? And it is kind of a win-win scenario for Germany, or for the Axis, I should say. Yes, that if they go after that, is probably gonna take this off the table, unless your opponent likes to scramble, and then it probably might still be on the table, okay? But if they decide, I don't need the 5 IPCs, well then that's fine, because then they're gonna go this way, right? And it's a win, okay? So either they're gonna not take the IPCs, or they're gonna take the units away from the Mediterranean, okay? Either way is kind of a win-win scenario, and that's why we do that, okay? It's very important they do not put those extra 5 units on here. 25% of your landing force, okay? If you don't think that's important, you just haven't lost London, okay? An experienced player is gonna chew up London every time, okay? London is so easy to take. It's so easy to take even while you're fighting Russia, okay? This Cobra Kai, dude, is a good strategy, but also we've been working on UK strategies, and this is one of them, okay? And like I said, I'm showing these videos playing what I consider are very, very advanced players, okay? I consider our group a very advanced group, okay? We are not going to scramble. We're going to make sure we have the 5 extra guys here, and that is more than likely going to take this off of the landing. Okay, it's just gonna be off the table. That's what I was looking forward to say. Now, I'm trying to explain to you, yeah, this is a good strategy for Germany. Okay, but you just have to take that assessment. Okay, so this is why this is so important. You have to try. Okay, you have to put that option on the table for the UK player to not have those 5 IPCs. Okay, so why don't we just do this? Okay, somebody asked, well, why don't I just take out that sub or take out that cruiser to begin with and don't worry about it? Okay, let's say I do. There's 2 things that can happen. Okay, turn A. I mean, let's say option A. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to win. Great. Okay, now it's their turn. Now 2 destroyers can reach. Okay, and this fighter. Okay, he's dead. Okay, that wasn't a win scenario, okay? I mean, there's no way he's not going to make it, and I really didn't do anything, okay? So that, and actually you probably win, it's just, that's not a good scenario because you have the risk of losing, okay? What happens if I kill myself, basically, because I don't hit and he hits, okay? Now I'm giving this unit the opportunity to be used against me twice in the same game round. Okay, if you're giving enemy units a chance to roll against you twice in the same game round, that's not a very good strategy. Okay, because he just rolled against me here and killed me. Now he's gonna come over here free to go, and he's gonna kill me over there. Okay, that's not a good strategy. Where you're gonna give the enemy the opportunity to be used against you twice in the same game round, and that not just goes for here; it goes for any unit on the board. Okay, if you cannot guarantee yourself to take that unit, look around and see, well, what else can they do? Okay, now I granted this is pretty much a no-win scenario, but that is like what General Hand Grenade said, the Hail Mary. Okay, you just have to try, because that almost guarantees you take this out. That almost guarantees you just took 5 IPCs from them. Okay, and that is a good strategy. That is worth the risk. Okay, now what's going to happen? So what happens if I took this out? Okay, what they have to, and you're like, well, I'll just go this way then. No, they can't. Okay, they can't risk that just taking flight. What's going to happen is he's going to have to go 1, 2, 3, and he's going to have to meet up with him. Okay, they're going to have to go after him now. Okay, and then C Zone 71, where there's another destroyer, is going to have to come around the bottom of Africa there and come up, and they're really going to have to try and get that guy. Okay, and what happens then also, what you even might want to do, depending on where the Germany player, because if the Germany player goes now, he goes 1, 2, you can get it, right? He goes 1, 2. Well, the one over there is probably going to get it. So you can probably get him on the next turn, okay? But you just have to, it's just something that the UK player really has to do, okay? I mean, it's bad enough you're going to lose 1 turn of 5 IPCs, okay? Don't make it 2, don't make it 3. And if they do, that's just not a good strategy for them, and it just puts London on the table that much easier, okay? So that's why it's very important you do it exactly the way I said. You have to put them in 87, and you have to draw them out. And like I said, they don't want to go after it. That's great, okay? If they do go after it, that's great, okay? Now, naturally, I'd rather them not go after it. But either way, it helps. It helps the Axis for the price of a sub, okay? The price of a sub is really helping the Axis over here, okay? So, very important. So I think I covered that enough. I think I went over every scenario of why, okay? Now, next. Germany cannot afford to sustain these, okay? So there's no reason to give them these factories, okay? Because they can't afford to put units there, okay? It's going to be 369, 369. This is going to cost Germany 18 IPCs per turn to properly sustain this, okay? So that's why we get into Italy. Italy is going to be spending the 18 IPCs on this. Now you're like, well, they only get 10. Yes, they're going to get 10. They're going to lose one. Losing Ethiopia is pretty much a given. You're going to give them this 5, okay? They're going to take Yugo. They're going to take Greece, okay? They're going to have the money needed to sustain these, okay? So we are going to go now to what if we do not do a sea line, okay? Now, we need 9 transport to do sea line. That equals 63 IPCs, okay? So 63 IPCs is exactly 10 guys, 1 guy, okay? So the price you would have put for those transports are now going to be used to fortify this front, okay? Because that means there's 2 reasons why you're not going to do sea lion. Reason 1, they kept their bonus, they got their planes. It just doesn't look good, okay? Reason 2, America is all of America's money has went right here, and you need to fortify this. Is more important than taking this. Is what's going to happen. You are going to take this, and then they're going to come over here and take it back, and then you're going to have nothing here on these borders because all your stuff is still there on turn 5, okay? Your stuff doesn't end up coming back until like turn 7, okay? So we have to start fortifying, okay? You have to start thinking defense while you wrap this up, okay? Now, you're going to have the money to do it. You're going to have a lot of money. You're going to have you're not going to lose any money, and you're going to have the 20 plus right here already. So you're going to have plenty of funds to do both, okay? Just don't have to worry about that. That's not the problem. The problem is you make sure you do this correctly, okay? Now, when Italy comes in on turn 1, they're going to take southern France, and they're going to move units into France. And I'll get into why they're going to move units into France on Italy's turn, okay? So on turn 2, they would have dropped 3 guys right there, okay? And they would have put some guys down there, okay? Now on turn 3, they would have on turn 2, they would have taken this, okay? And then they would have put down another some more guys, okay? So we'll just put there, and we'll put there, okay? Now we're caught up to Germany, okay? Now in Germany's turn 3, if you did not buy these, okay, that means you bought, remember I use these as 10s, okay? You bought 21 guys, okay? You are going to disperse these. You're going to put the tanks actually in France, okay? Because France, that way you can reach southern Italy if you need to, okay? You're going to put them there, okay? And that's mainly the reason why. Not only can you hit everything, you can hit every single coast. You can go to southern Italy, okay? And you're just going to move all these guys with Italy. Remember, these were the cities as are Italians, okay? Remember, you would have bought 10, 10, and you would have bought 1, okay? Now, it is turn 4, okay? America is more than likely in 91, okay? Waiting to see what's going to happen, okay? Turn 5, you're going to keep feeding that machine, okay? You're going to buy another thing of 10. Now, Italy's turn, they would have put another 3. They would have put another 3. Now, this is, remember, Italy comes with like 6 guys there already, plus, I can't remember, maybe 10 total, plus they got some other units. Now, some of those guys would have moved up. You know, see how Germany does these anti-aircraft. They've been moving around like I did on my last video. Italy's going to do the same thing. They have 4, okay? They're going to be dispersing them around, okay? So, at the end of the turn, they're going to, you're going to move in some troops. Those are going to go that way. These are going to go that way, okay? And then you're going to put another 10, okay? Maybe, depending on how that goes, you might even put a couple more in France. Okay, this guy would have came out. He's going to probably go that way. Actually, he probably would have went that way. Okay, now then these guys would make an assessment to depending what is in his landing party, which way they're going to go, but they're going to go somewhere. Okay, so just for the sake of this video, we'll just put them right here. Okay. Now it's America's turn. Okay. What is America going to do with all those? Look at, there's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, 50, 60. There's 70 to 75 units there between Italy and Germany. Okay. Trust me, what is, they're gonna maybe have 20, maybe they have 10 transports. What are 20 units gonna do against 65 to 70 units? Okay, there's not really much they're gonna be able to do. Whatever they do, you're just gonna dominate them, and then they're gonna have to come all the way back over again. Okay, now and you just keep as Germany until this is done. And remember, you're gonna have plenty of money. Okay, you're already gonna be racking in all this money. By the time you're coming back, you're going to have a couple choices to make, okay? A, maybe just go and take out UK that way, okay? Maybe just start nickel and diming all their money and collecting more. Or you can go to Calcutta, you know, and take out and help Japan take that out. You might, or if, like I said, if UK had a bright idea to put a factory down there, if they did, you probably did this, but we'll just say for the sake of argument, you didn't do this and they put a factory down there. We'll just go down there and take it, okay? You can start coming back here to the med, and like I said, you have the Cobra Kai fist of power, and now you can start punching that way. You're gonna punch that way, and you're gonna punch that way. Okay, there's no way to get around you. Okay, what you're gonna do, you bring these back, and then this one transport. You remember I told you you're gonna put a couple guys here, put a couple guys here, put a couple guys here. Okay, by the time turn 6 comes around, when they're figuring out what they're gonna do, you are in position where you have a pretty good defensive there. And if these guys want to come over here and try to nickel and dime you, that's okay. Then that means those guys didn't go to Russia. Okay, and you're on your way back now. You just blast through here, get another 5 IPC bonus, plus a couple other dollars you can pick up on the way back. Okay, so that's not a problem either. It's if Russia wants to do that, then that's fine. It's easier to pick these guys off in little tiny groups than it is if they're in one big herd. Okay, you as a German player will have a lot more units in the long run if you can just nickel and dime these guys. Okay, so if they do that, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You know, it's great. So I think we went over that. So that's what I'm saying. So that's why you're giving these to Italy. Pete cannot put this burden on Germany to fortify these. Okay, don't take a factory you cannot utilize. Okay, Germany cannot utilize that. Getting those 2 IPCs or 3 IPCs or even the whole 5 IPCs isn't worth the 18 you should be spending there to fortify that. Okay, that's very important. That's why you're not going to take that. You're not going to touch that. Okay, you're going to zip into France and you're going to put your landing party here until you figure out what you're going to do. Say you're not going to land, that's fine. That 63 IPCs you had saved, that's fine. It's 30, 30, and 3. Okay, this isn't going to cost you anything. This is the money you already had planned for here. Okay, so that was already in the budget. Okay, and you just keep going that way. Okay, like I said, you're on your way back now. And then as you're here, you can really fortify these lines, make an assessment of the next play. Okay, because if America is all right here and you're holding this, that's great, because that means your Japan player is killing it over there, okay? So if it becomes Germany and Italy's main role to just hold these lines, and each turn you're just pumping out another 10 guys, Italy's pumping out another 9 or 3, 6, and another 6. If they're doing that every turn, you know, you're going to end up with stacks, okay? And Japan just going to go dominate. Sooner or later, the game's just going to be over because Japan would have won it. Now, apparently at the tournament rules, you don't win the game when you win the game. You just play, you know. So whatever, you know, we can just keep playing all day. It doesn't matter. The allies are not going to get a thing. Okay, we would just end up going to Africa, I guess. You know, I think there's a token for the Axis if you get all these. So, you know, we get that. We already got that token over there. Japan, we probably have Calcutta and Sydney tokens, you know, provided America's over here. And then, you know, like I said in my last video, when you take over Moscow, you're going to have 12 to 15 tanks left, okay? If these guys all dispersed, and you nickel and dime them, that's great. If they're big, you know, you can just come here and crush them, okay? Or just don't even worry about them, okay? Maybe you can just come here and just cut them off and leave them alone. What you can do is go that way, okay? So on your way back, you would put 3 more tanks there on this factory. That's all you really would need. And on the way back, you can go 1, 2, you pick up your new units, and you just keep going, okay? And then if you really wanted to worry about this because you got so many units over here, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and shuck some more guys over here and just go around and just take it. You know what I mean? It'll be pretty easy to take at that point. It's just sometimes it's not worth it. I mean, if they're not doing anything to get those few dollars where you're going to probably lose, you know, a little handful of units, it may or may not be worth it. But you know, you have to make that assessment as you get there. So it's just one of those things. Okay, you just make the assessments. That's what you need to do in your battle plans. You know, like I said, you have different ways to do something to get to the same objective. So you think we covered my mistakes. We covered exactly what's going on over here. We covered exactly what's going on here. We covered exactly what's going on here. So I think we're good. I think we are good. So I'm going to try and link this video at the end of the last video. I'm not really sure how to do that. So in a few hours, if this video has been up for a few hours and you check out the end of the last one and you do not see that link, it's because I'm having some technical issues because I'm very new to YouTube. So if you know how to do that and you do not see that on there, please send me a post and be like, dude, you're doing it wrong. This is how you do it, okay? Because I would like to have these 2 videos linked. Next, I am going to do the Italy strategy, and then followed by the UK strategy, and then followed by the Soviet strategy, and then I'll take care of this half of the board. I'm probably not going to do an America strategy, period, because there's not really a need for America strategy. Everyone knows you have to get units over here. And in Pacific, everyone knows you have to get units over there. Okay, there's nothing really to go over. It's just either you do it or you don't. You know what I mean? But we'll see as time comes on, maybe, but just not really. There isn't really an American strategy per se that is anything better than another one. Everyone knows you go to Brazil, get those guys because they're free. Everyone knows you got to come over here and do a landing. Okay, so it's pretty cut and dry. Okay, guys. Well, that's it. So we will talk again soon for my Italy strategy video. All right, guys. Thank you and take care.